my rejects.
Get it? Does everyone get it?
Yeah, from
Is
the
it-
first,
It's the
from
trailer
Justice
and
League.
beyond and Aquaman.
Got it. Love
his
it.
little
Love
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Guys, get ready for the biggest movie of the year, for the biggest franchise of comic book movie history.
Yeah.
Hit after hit, and they're going to end it off strong with another massive win in the cinemas. That is for Aquaman 2. We're finally getting a trailer for it. John, how excited are you for the sequel?
I am submerged in a tank of excitement.
Oh, that's great to hear. Hey, Coy, how excited are you for Lobo?
I'm talking to the fishes about it as we speak with all the zeal I can muster for the end of a universe that kind of exists in continuity sometimes when it's relevant.
Ladies and gentlemen, leave a like on this video. In all seriousness, I'm actually rooting for this movie. So let's see how this turns out.
Clever.
4 years ago, I was basically unemployed. A wanderer with no home.
Yeah.
Nomad.
But now, I'm a husband and a father.
A daddy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Aqualad?
My boy.
A zaddy.
Get us in an Aquaman trailer. Suit looks cool.
Oh yeah, I finally got a job. I'm the king of Atlantis.
Okay.
DC films do have a look now, huh?
Every known species in the sea call this place home. That doesn't mean they all like me.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds down. I'm gonna murder his family and burn his kingdom to ash.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Oh, the Lost Kingdom.
Heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
He's doing the chair pose.
I think I know someone that might be able to help us. Ooh, you look rough. Good job, little brother. High five.
Do not call me brother.
The bromance.
You let this happen.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
Oh, that's beautiful.
King builds bridges, right?
Whoa.
True king builds bridges.
Find Manta.
He's different now. He's stronger than before.
Okay.
The Black Trident.
Black Trident.
King Atlan's time, there were 7 kingdoms.
Okay.
There was a curse upon them all.
Lord of the Rings. See?
Trident's dark magic is spreading.
He means to end one time.
That's going to be a cool fight, at least.
One king to rule them all.
I don't know what lies ahead, but we can't leave our children in a world without hope.
You're not as bad at this as you think. If you lead, the 7 kingdoms will follow.
Mera.
They showed her.
Ever heard?
Let's just get clicks and people yelling. Good SEO. Very wise.
But they had her in a prison.
Filmed for IMAX, huh?
Hey!
Read some comics.
I've only read 2. I've only read the middle one. All right.
Okay.
Killing it.
Okay.
I got thoughts. You got thoughts?
Who doesn't have thoughts?
Who doesn't have thoughts? Yeah, sure. I got thoughts. John, let's hear John's thoughts first.
You know, I mean, there's been so much talk about this movie and about how they've been pushing it back for like 10 straight years because every test screening has hated it and just thinks that DC should be burnt to the ground. And this is a trailer that sends me off in 2 directions. On the one hand, I'm like, I could see how this could turn into a kind of garish mess because this is a bit of a cacophonous trailer. However, I do really enjoy the idea of Arthur and Orm being thrust together on an adventure after everything that happened in the first movie. I think that's a fun hook. And yeah, I mean, you know, lest we forget, the first one made $1 billion, and it was pretty dazzling in terms of its world realization, its designs, and all that stuff. which looks very fun and appealing here. In a post-Avatar, The Way of Water world, I see something like this, and I just immediately think, what if James Cameron? But, either way. I love a James Wan joint, and for as much of a, tumultuous and rocky path to the theater that this has had, I still feel like they could pull out something that is really fun and enjoyable from this. And I mean, this tone certainly feels a lot more jovial, a lot more humorous. So I'm curious to know how people will feel about that. But it's not unlike the first movie at the very least. So cautious optimism, I guess we'll say. I'll wait to hear what you guys think.
Coy?
In a movie regarded as poorly as we've heard, I was expecting the trailer to be worse. I was a little concerned that somehow a trailer would be boring. Now, yes, you've got a 2-hour movie. It's easy to grab 3 minutes of that look great, but this looks like the sequel to the insanity that was Aquaman. And I think they know what to do as far as like appealing to that demographic, and they've done that. So if they've had this extra time, if they've done the scheduled reshoots, if they took those lessons, I mean, there was a squid playing the drums in the first one, and this looks like, they're grabbing a seahorse jumping out of the sea with a giant octopus attached to the side. Like, they leaned in instead of out. This looks like a buddy bromance. This looks like we're finally getting some Black Manta story. I remember being really bummed when the Trench movie got canceled once we heard it was a Black Manta movie. So I'm hoping some of the scripts from that got incorporated into this so we can actually see some of Yahya getting to be as awesome as Yahya is. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So all the checks I wanted to hit, the weirdness, more Yahya, some bromance, like that's all here. And the visuals look like a lot of fun. So in an age of superhero fatigue, seeing Momoa open a trailer by grabbing green spandex and dive into this insanity, I think this is a smart trailer.
Yes. I don't know. There's to be totally honest with you guys, it's a good trailer. Yeah, I like the trailer. It's fun. It's wild. It's whimsical, and I agree with everything you guys are saying in the sense of how they are leaning more into the things that seem like it worked in the last one. It feels a lot more scopic, feels more adventurous, and I'm looking forward to that budding relationship of that action movie cliche sequel of like, oh, now the villain they're gonna be teaming up with in the second one, like Thor Love not Thor Love and Thunder, Thor the Dark World did, and it's just kind of like a trope, and I like everything about it. Like, yeah, it looks fun. I love Yahya. I think he's one of like our best actors working today. At the same time, just because like Black Manta in the first movie just wasn't all that threatening, and it seemed like kind of a thing they were forcing into that film. If I remember that experience correctly, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. And, I just remember that it was like, he's not that threatening. They're forcing him in there. He looks cool. I should be more excited about him, but wasn't a big fan ultimately of how he was serviced. So then for this trailer to be pitching him as the main big baddie, I'm not that excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's a repeat,
that's
dynamic.
why it's a repeat dynamic. And weirdly, I don't feel like this trailer showed us anything that felt that new compared to the first movie.
Agreed. Or some new type of peril to really get me going like, oh man, this is going to be one hell of a fight. Like even the perilous and the villainous stuff looks as fun and bouncy as it did last time.
I will agree that as much because I give all those positives to the trailer, this doesn't feel like I just saw a trailer for the first time.
Yeah.
Like watching this, I was like, I've seen this before. And I'm like, wait, no, I haven't. I can't have.
And as much as they're trying to pitch us on stakes, I didn't quite get a sense of the stakes. Like it's supposed to be fun. And I like the beginning part of him being a dad. Mm-hmm. I think that's a fun little hook.
Aqua Dad.
And then also, again, the thing I'm looking forward to most is probably going to be, Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson interacting. Whereas in the first movie, it was him and Amber Heard going on the adventures, and now it's going to be doing that here with Patrick Wilson, and maybe there's going to be some type of redemption arc, underwater stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's like visually, this all looks cool. I think that is the thing, like bringing up Avatar: The Way of Water. the first movie was more visually impressive because that was pre-Avatar: The Way of Water.
Sure.
And now that we have Avatar: The Way of Water,
Should have released it on time, WB.
yeah, and now that we have The Way of Water, I'm like, this looks really fun. I mean, it has that like, it looks kind of like those, an international film. You know what I mean?
Sort of, yeah.
Which is cool, but I guess the dazzle of it is not hitting as strong.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for it.
You know what I bet's going to happen?
What?
I bet he's going to use the new trident and cut his hand off, and we're going to get the hook Aquaman by the end. That's what I kept thinking. I kept thinking about he's going to lose a hand. It's a sequel, and he's going to lose a hand, and it's going to be at the hand of Yahya to build the stakes, and then he's going to get a hook.
Just like Thor's
That's what
eye.
I keep thinking about, because in the comics, he's got a hook hand a lot.
Sweet. Can't wait for
I'm just
Aquaman
saying.
3.
Guys, it's coming. I literally was that whole trailer thinking about, are they going to show Mera and are they going to show his hook hand? And they didn't, but I think it's the next trailer.
But who knows? I don't know. I feel like they kind of shot them. I think this movie's coming like way too late right now, which is weird because there's the only one that made like $1 billion. Right?
Yeah, but it was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I feel like this got like Black Widow situation where it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have waited this long.
And then with honestly, in the day and age of what's happening with DC and when that's been communicated with the audience is that like everything that's coming out is probably like inconsequential. You probably don't really need to see it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this trailer really made the impact that maybe it needed to, as like this is something that you must watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just looks huge, but it also has the impact of like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, I think this really needed to feel truly special.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it looks fun, but that's kind of what a lot of us have been saying about the other ones.
I feel like
People
it
not
would have
showing up to those.
It doesn't look bad, but we'll see.
I feel like it might have been smarter to lead with a trailer that is a little more dynamic and has a little bit more actual suspense or something like that, because here it just looks like, look how much effects we did, sort of.
We've had time to work on these effects.
Yeah, and I mean, James Wan is always a skilled and gifted technician and, can glean good performances. He's got his muse here, Patrick Wilson. But I could absolutely see how this movie could drop and just be fine. And I mean, the original Aquaman is sort of renowned for being like the okayest DCEU movie that also happened to make $1 billion. So I wonder, while I still expect this one out of, all the most recent DCEU remnants to do pretty well, just given its legacy, I could also see a world in which it still falls well short of that Billy.
I'm curious how it feels as far as the cut by the time we get to it, because I'm curious with like the Ben Affleck of it all, with the reshoots, with the scheduled reshoots in addition to perhaps the delay and like all those things. Like, is the movie going to feel like it's 5 movies like Flash did, where Flash felt like they had a bunch of different cuts and then the studio cut and then we got to see one? Will this feel like that by the time we see it?
Yeah.
Probably. Just imagine it must.
2023, what a year in cinema.
These movies are made to be modularly reworked, so I can only imagine that with as much time as it's been, it's gonna feel that way.
I just want to see the rage face thumbnails on YouTube all day today, and people are like, "Mera's in it." It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Release
It's great SEO though. Like I honestly think that short of showing Ben Affleck, the best thing they could have done is have just angry tweeters.
And she's in a little jail, or she's at least locked up somewhere. So it's a dog whistle for everybody.
Alrighty. Well, I give that trailer. It looks okay.
The okayest $1 billion sequel.
I'll consider maybe watching it.
I'll watch it. Why not? It's the last film in the DCEU.
Best film in the DCEU.
So might as well. Guys, what did you think about the trailer? Leave a like. And why don't we do a Patron of the Day shout out? You know who I would love to see underwater? Who I would love to go swimming with?
Who's that?
In the deep, dark depths of the ocean? That for sure would have to be undoubtedly Chris Swamoff.
Yes, swam off.
Because Chris swam off. I feel like if there was someone I could go scuba diving, it would be this guy. He is known to be, one of those guys who just does everything out of the kindness of his heart. He is willing to put his life at risk in order to help others all the time. And frankly, it would be really fun to go scuba diving with you and be like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that mysterious creature, but I don't want to touch it. Chris, can you go? And then we send you in, and oh, my God, you get injured.
Oh,
Get a hand tape.
Does he get a hook hand?
And then he would have to get a hook hand. This is changing my bit.
Oh, no.
This is changing my bit
Pivot.
significantly.
You can use
Yes,
your,
and.
your joke.
Do I go yes and or no but?
I'd go yes.
I
And
mean, that
personally.
hook hand is a no butt for Chris, if you know what I mean.
He's got to wipe with the other one for sure.
Okay, let's roll with it. And then he swims to the surface, and he has to remove they have to change his hand out and to give him a hook hand.
Yeah.
And well, I think that's kind of the end of it.
Also his name sounds like an onomatopoeia from the Silver Age comics, like wham off. Like that's what happens when his hand gets taken off. Wham off.
Oh,
Hook.
hey, look at you, comic book writer over
It was
here.
yes anding for you. I was trying to help out.
I should have slept.
I feel like
Here we
your
are.
Captain Hook joke
You know
is
what?
right there.
This ending of the trailer is just as captivating as the trailer being perfectly fine.
Thanks, Chris.
We love you, Chris.